some of the guys that were maybe a little younger.
Yeah, that's great. I tried to.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'd be like,
Ryan, you're
Yeah.
okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of your with him is had more than dreams.
oh yeah, I know.
Mm.
Well,
He was more focused on that. I
I
thought.
didn't even look at it.
I mean, Trevor Raider. He's that's.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about Trevor. He
No success.
lives for
KMA.
KMA, that's right.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
That photo was taken.
He just got married, I thought.
Yeah.
Or,
They've been.
no, they've been. I thought maybe it was like an anniversary picture or something like a while back. Maybe a week and stuff ago. No, he was a year younger. That's how I was trying to think of what he's doing. Like, I was trying to NASCAR stuff, like racing
Yeah.
things. I don't know if he's still doing that. When it was my age, the interest.
He's selling.
Okay.
Yes, he's selling. This Andrew. I've talked to him forever.
I guess he's in industry adjacent.
Which or what Boston?
Yeah.
I do remember that name. Was he?
Do you think by
Okay.
starting the stars? Starting the cookie.
So
Was he doing work in like Nebraska?
I have no idea. They graduated.
I guess like Devin Hudson still does some stuff.
He does those.
He does like the 8-man football.
He's like what?
do stuff.
He's on a big Heat Man podcast.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like you found out.
Yeah.
He wants to talk about. But he was just. I think he's moved back to Maryville. But he was coaching. High school. Coaching. I suppose.
Yeah.
Coaching.
Yeah, like South Highway. It's some 8-man stuff. But it's sort of in this industry can chew you to spit you out for sure. Definitely can't really get at that. It doesn't work.
You have understands what you're trying to do too.
He's hired this.
That's also a big reason. Stop.
Mhm.
We got ourselves a good one.
And then it's unfortunate. Yeah,
When you guys,
that has got to be one of the most uncomfortable shows I've ever been. This dude just bragged about being there for 3 hours. I was like,
that's big.
by the time it was over, I got home and my wife's like, the guy we were doing the show with, that's big.
I was curious to see how that went, because I know you and I know Big. Like, here's how it's
Yeah. Just
and I listened to like the first 2 hours. I'm like, this is exactly how I
yeah, like, I knew better than that.
once the week got over, I sort of connect.
Yeah, it was working, right? I just sort of found what works for Bank. He found what works for me, and we just sort of played off that. And I know to just kind of like these things sometimes and kind of water up a duck's back. Just let it slide. Not going to create an argument out of it.
That's the thing. When I produce, I always think if you like let the producers talk, sometimes I disagree with everything. And anytime you would say something disagreeing with it, it's just hilarious.
So yeah, they even have this on. They just
Use that more.
Make it a lot.
Yeah. Dispose it. I can't just clear it on my own.
Right. You know, this doesn't work anywhere else, right?
I know you have such a need for a Tennessee driver's license, but it doesn't work here anymore. It takes care of itself.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to give that to me.
What are we doing?
Don't worry, multi-billion-dollar operation.
Let's see if they think about it. These are the ones with the trackers though, Dave.
If you use it, they track it now. Okay.
You want to make sure you're playing.
That's the next gen static chips. They can track our speeds and.
He got to and from.
That's not like.
His top walk speed was
Like they got next gen stats on them.
yeah, exactly.
That speed was 18.4 miles per hour.
40 to 60 miles.
Yeah.
Is that?
We'll talk.
Yeah.
Johnny, just like he came before and coach.
Yeah.
It's only right. Question. It was crazy. You know, we all just kind of nobody knew.
He's got.
He just walked right on out.
That's great.
Yeah. Like all the fans out there cheering. It's so fun.
In this on this graphic of
Was it?
yards allowed versus
I don't remember. It's like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't remember it, then
Yeah, it was a good question. I remember that. I just want to say Sam might have been there. Yeah.
For 3 weeks.
The issue that is kind of just about.
that's why it's the progression of Williams. So well, I think Trevor is
no.
outside.
How about you?
No Williams can be an outside corner on a down by down basis, a guy that you can trust, and it allows me to slide inside the secondary, which is already pretty good. It's just going to go, it's going to enter a different level. James has gotten better every single week. It's all about Shamari Hunter's better than he was last year.
But I watched the trip from the start for the finally
Chris Owen was the first game of the year for the Chiefs.
No, I was gonna say I took the party too.
Imagine the amount of money you would need if he's putting scratch down here. Chris throwing almost the Chiefs would turn
Out there, like Sunday at 6 a.m. I did kind of and coming back. I'm trying.
Yeah.
But I live at 2. It got here so bad. So it's not
Heck no. Yeah, I think we're close. I just see him though.
And then rest there's 2 moon pigs. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Dark skin.
Don't go here any.
Mistake. He's just trying to see his job. What he's just hanging off.
Your face breaks the blur. Pick up dark,
Pull him out.
Not very many.
You're risable.
big, hot, like labor wire. Too many people are trying to get this speech.
Right about everything.
Whatever the mother was sparing when they pick up Daniel Jones.
I
He went from like a 48% home rate and reduced in leagues to like 93.
I traded for him. This past week. Yesterday, actually, my team turned off the way through.
You jump on.
So I traded my first 3 picks.
A little bit. I saw Trent.
Jamar Chase is and picks. And stack, which is great.
I am. I'll be better a slight amount. Center.
You're going to Kate.
Mahomes, my starter. Like, that's not just going to start this week for me.
That's not
And
bad.
less than, other than the bye week. That hurt.
Bring that up.
Is of course hurt.
I'll be healthy by bye week. I think it comes to November. I'll be back to those ones. I think he'll get it since he
He just bought himself a letter. That's the league.
he's going to be his next chance to go next to Minnesota Vikings.
Probably. It's just another Gardner Minshew. Hanging around.
And cut that Jack Chase team with it as a fire through.
Correct.
Here we go.
All right, don't have any injuries for you. Everybody's gonna practice today, so that's a positive. Look for the challenge of playing the Ravens. Good football team. We've played them the last couple of years. If they know us and we know them, pretty much, so should be a heck of a battle. And look forward to that challenge. Look forward to coming back here to Arrowhead and playing. So, anyways, with that time, Jim.
Coach, the play to Isaiah Pacheco, where he's counting the back, obviously something was going wrong. Can you kind of explain how he ended up behind, and are you trying for a lateral there, or did it just kind of get blown up by what the defense was
Yeah,
doing?
it was the release on it. Yeah, we're trying to not once or twice. So we don't want. He was trying to chip on the tackle and got caught up in there and bumped him out too wide. So we'll fix that.
Have you seen enough from Xavier that the optimism level has grown for a return potentially this week?
How important is it just to see him in practice and being more than limited to get him out there on Sunday?
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll just evaluate. I mean, day by day, it feels good, so we'll see.
How you going across just, this offense with, you have Tyquan and Juju, and now you bring Xavier back, and then in preseason you're doing it with Reid. Just how have you guys just adjusted, basically week to week, having kind of a different setups going?
I think one of the great things is that Pat's been able to get some game time with a couple guys that he didn't have a lot of game time with. Between Hollywood and Nady. So I mean, I think it's a positive thing. And then when the other guys come in, and he's got experience with them. So I look at the production of the other two guys, Hollywood and Thornton, and it's been, I think that's real positive for the team down the road.
And Andy, I talked in the offseason about how you told him to throw deeper, but what does it say to you about him that he's gone out there and worked on it and now he's doing it and has had success with kind of games?
Yeah, well, we practice it, so if you could, you've got to practice. The percentages go down on long balls anyways compared to the short intermediate game. So the further you go down the field, so you got to put in the time there and practice it. And as coaches, we've got to make sure we give them an opportunity to do that before game time. So spend a little bit more time with that, so it'd be part of the offense. And then he could get used to these guys. And the routes.
Coach, I heard a little bit of Travis's podcast today. So he said it's confident. Momentum's going the right way with the offense. Did you feel like after halftime and you came back and watched everything, you guys got some good things going and brighter days ahead, regardless of who's out there with the receivers on?
Yeah, I thought it was better the second half, for sure. Yeah. Ended on a good note that way. But you got to build on that. That's you're going against a good defense. So make sure take care of business this week. Make sure we detail our work.
Coach talks about that Ravens defense. They're obviously not happy to be 1-2 either. This is neither one of you thought you'd be right here, but what did you see from them in recent study on what they have defensively for you guys?
Yeah, well, or he's a good one. So defense coordinator, and he brings guys from all over when needed, and at the same time they play good sound defense on top of that. They got good players. I'm sure he'll have some change ups from what he did with us last time, which is I just have to adjust to it. So, but he does a nice job with that defense. He's got a lot of flexibility there, what he can do and with players.
What do you expect from them? I mean, they got their backs to the wall. That's the way to approach it.
Yeah, sure. They're a tough football team. It should be a good, tough football game. And, that's the way you prepare yourself. Sure.
Coach, Juwan had another penalty the other night, and obviously that it looks like the knee and ankle injuries have been an issue for him too. Is there any point where he might need a break, or do you still have complete confidence in his health and his status right?
Yeah. When he doesn't have the penalties, his percentage has been good. So he you could argue one of the better tackles in his pass protection game. So I'm conscious of that, and then I'll take care of it from there. I might be giving you a call. You're looking at.
Sorry.
Coach, there is a pretty big investment in that offensive line. Are you surprised it hasn't been more effective and as far as getting the running game to be more efficient? Or I know there's a lot of factors that go into it, but they're part of the equation.
Yeah, so I thought this past week was one of their better games. Yeah, so I thought they came together there and did some good things, run game and pass.
Steve?
Coach, Juju has been pretty consistent for you guys, kind of flown under the radar a little bit. What does he bring to the wide receiver room?
Great. As a leader, good man, works hard, does things the right way. He's not afraid to speak up. And you see something, which is great for the young guys here. And then he's a good football player.
Yeah.
He understands space. Big body, he's not afraid to go anywhere on the football field or anybody. So that's his benefit.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Okay.
That's how we pull it.
Yeah, yeah.
I can still send it to you.
Okay, thanks.
Matt, you got any eligibility left? If Coach Reid calls.
Well, I did play the NBA draft in 1995, so I don't know.
I don't think they need your physical.
No, I can. Have some.
Sure it is.
I can spend a season on the
My ADHD meds that I didn't.
Why do you take that?
At this point, I don't know if I should. I don't think we're doing. Take it out. I'm gonna be able to sleep. Trying to pick up these things. Karlaftis.
I'm not sure it's like.
Yeah. So you got Karlaftis, so they built it in there.
Job, he means us. That's printing.
Joe Smith, first year, yeah, Cornelius Dice, Jerry Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace, definitely knows that.
Nice.
Just classics. So we did for.
It's just the calendar is key. You would have fit in.
I think I asked you.
Big tickets. Can you?
Carol Warner or Matt Nevin.
No. So you see that 95 NBA draft last year, like, oh, no wonder scores were like 80 to 72 back then.
Bunch of big. Back then, we were actually.
I turned that one. I got it.
The slack.
Jeez.
Still hanging off me.
I was thinking about that.
We had a.
Oh, yeah.
Hand check. Journalism class. So my project, my final was that I declared for the NBA draft. And the guys that went across the hall from me were my agents. Their company was Players International Group Marketing, Pig Marketing. I put my intramural stats in there. I had my friend that lived down the hall. He was a draft analyst that compared me favorably to Shaquille O'Neal. Referred to me as Matt Diesel.
I'm impressed you had intramural stats.
Well, I mean, I kept them in my head.
So did anybody want to work you out?
I was a legend in my own. Didn't get the call. So I figured at least the Knicks would have been interested.
You seen the fellow Speedwell? No, I did not see the trail.
Oh, you said machine wall.
She won't.
Known for choking.
That's right.
They traded on this. All right, guys, fire away.
Patrick, Coach Nagy said a couple weeks ago that in the meeting room, so you had guys hold you accountable for throwing the ball deep. Like, could you just kind of share what you did in the off season to make sure that you were dropping it deep?
Yeah, no, I think just with the guys that we have, I've kind of put it on myself to give guys chances down the field. And even though we haven't performed offensively as a whole, I think the entire year so far as efficient and scoring points the way we want to, we've kind of made an emphasis to give guys chances down the field to make plays, and guys have made those plays. And so that started in training camp, that started in OTAs. Is like I told guys to hold me accountable, and I wanted to hold myself accountable that I give the guys a chance to make plays, and they're proving that they can make them.
How's it feel to wind up now? I mean, you got a lot more of the big wind up throws.
Yeah, I mean, it's still something that I have to continue to get better and better at. I think that there's more opportunities to make these plays in the games than these first few weeks, but I think it just gives me the confidence when guys like Tyquan come down with the catch they did, that I can keep forcing the ball down the field and let them try to make plays. And we'll continue to get better and better at that, as well as with the rest of the offense. But I mean, it's always super exciting when you get a chance to throw the ball down the field.
Patrick, you've always done with next man up with the receiving core. Over the course of your career, you've had to deal with that a lot. And just this year, you practice a lot with Rasheed and St. Joe, and then you go on and now Tyquan's leading Hollywood, letting Brazil. Just how have you been able to maintain each receiver that comes up, or each receiving unit that you have for that available that day, to make sure that you keep firing and keep within the system? We thought those guys have to mix and match sometimes within their own system.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's things here and there they get to work on, but I think more than anything, the guys are putting in the work during the week. And so I I think for us, at the end of the day, whenever we start getting these guys back, like Xavier and Rasheed, when he gets back, it's going to make us even better because guys had to step up, and they've stepped up and made plays. And you've seen Hollywood, you've seen Juju, you've seen Tyquan all step up into their roles and have even bigger roles within the offense. And so we'll continue to get better and better as the season goes. But it'll be an important week this week.
Patrick, you mentioned Juju. He's kind of flown under the radar a little bit, but been pretty consistent. What's he mean for that wide receiver round?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like the leader of those guys, man. I mean, he's someone who's been there and done it. You know, he's won the Super Bowl. He's had big 1,000-yard receiving seasons. He's kind of been in all different types of offenses, and so he can be that guy that they can lean on. They can ask questions to, and then I think he does a great job when his number gets called in the game to make the plays happen, and being available whenever I need someone to throw to, and has a good feel for the defenses and what the defenses are presenting. And so he's someone that's super important to that room just in general, but he stepped up whenever we needed him to these first few weeks and made plays happen.
Before last game, you described the offense as close. I guess, as you reviewed, what signs in the second half did you see that maybe the team getting closer to what you wanted?
Yeah, I think just the execution. You know, we cleaned up our execution. I got the ball out. I made the right decisions, made the right throws. I think that's the most important thing is like just making the throws, you know, making the throws whenever they're there, getting the ball out of my hand, letting guys make plays happen. And I did that in the second half. And I mean, the only drive that we didn't score was the one I missed Tyquan. So, I mean, it just proves that if you make the throws that the offense can be productive and can have the progress that we want. I just got to go out there and make the plays happen.
Patrick,
I know
you guys have,
Go ahead, Tim.
you've been blitzed more than you typically have been. What's that been like, and what's the adjustment like?
Yeah, I mean, I think you see that we're able to throw the ball down the field a little bit more now because of that. But I think it's just as a product of the teams that we played and them testing our young offensive linemen. But I think our offensive line have done a great job of picking up those blitzes and giving me opportunities. And that's why you've been able to see some of these deep shots down the field. And you got to be able to execute and showcase that you can hit those throws. And if you do that, they'll adjust, and then we have to adjust as well. And so that's what's beautiful about the NFL is you have to be able to adjust on the fly and make things happen.
Patrick, I know you get together with the coaches on, the night and go through the plays that are there. Andy gives you input. I mean, how much do you take out or put in? And, how much is really your choice on what plays end up going into the actual game?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Reid gives me kind of free roam. If I don't like plays, just tell him, and he'll take them out of there. And we do a good job of communicating with me throughout the week. I mean, it starts yesterday or even the day before Monday. Of just kind of talking about stuff that they're thinking about, and then I communicate kind of what I'm seeing, and then I trust in Coach Reid that he's gonna make the game plan the way that he has done for a long time now, and he always makes great ones. And so I think more than anything is trusting in him and then telling him whenever I'm not feeling the play that I'm not feeling.
Has it evolved over time? I mean, when you first got here, everything's a pass, everything's wide open, and maybe now you're a little more cerebral in what you're picking out, or
stuff evolves for sure. Just because I've seen more and more defenses and know the team more and more, know what we're trying to do. I think more than anything, I think the trust that he has with me has gotten even more and more just throughout the years. And a lot of those times, especially when I go to the sideline there before like a timeout or kind of like the review with the Tyquan play, and then we talk about it, and I tell him a play that I like, he'll call it, and he has that trust in me that I'm seeing it right out on the football field, and he gives me the chance to go out there and make it happen.
What kind of boost is it to have Rasheed back in Phil?
It's huge. I think just having a guy that you work with every single week, all training camp, all off season, and then having him back in the building, he always has a smile on his face, and you can tell the guys, they like him. And kind of like Juju, he's kind of been one of those guys that's been here, and he's won the Super Bowl, and even though he's young, he can kind of be a leader for those guys in the room of how we work and how we get after things. And so obviously he can't practice, but he can be in the meetings and listen to the stuff that we're working on, and it definitely gives a boost to the whole receiving room and the whole offense. Nate?
Patrick, you're one of the more veteran guys in the league now. I know this is a little bit off topic, but you spend a lot of time in between the games or talking to the referees. I just wonder what's your conversations like with the referees and what are those back and forth nature in the middle of a game?
Yeah, I think more than anything, they're just communicating different things that you're seeing, and you might ask kind of like the alignment stuff or like the motion type things and the timings and stuff like that, just to making sure that we're doing everything the right way and doing everything the way that we're supposed to. And so that's stuff that we continue to get better and better at. But just keep an open dialogue because those guys are trying to make the game go as smoothly as possible and want us to go out there and let the players dictate the game. And so we try to just have that open communication with them. And I think that's kind of like every QB in the league is that you have those communications like that.
Legal.
You guys ran the ball a little more efficiently with the running backs this past week, and as we watched the Ravens on Monday, they were a little susceptible to run. Maybe I mean it's just I know it's cat and mouse every week. It's going to be a little bit different here and there, but you feel like the run game has some momentum and can be a bigger part of having success and balancing everything out.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be balanced. I mean, I think every team in the NFL does, and I thought this last week we did a better job of running the ball, and I thought the offensive line did a good job of doing the run blocking together and the chemistry building between them. And I know that you saw Monday night at the Ravens, but they're a prideful group, man. I don't think they're going to be very happy with the film, and they're going to come out with the mentality of stopping the run. So it'll be a great test for us. And so it'll be able to go up there and be able to run the football and then be able to pass off of it. Will be important to us, stay balanced, and go up against a team that's going to be as hungry as we are. So it'll be a great football game this weekend.
Matt?
How much, Patrick, in the last 3 games, and especially in the second half, have you felt that, when you talked about the offensive line and the job they've been doing in pass protection, that you've been allowed the ability to push your eyes downfield and maybe look for some of those targets? Do you feel that increasing in your trust in that ability?
100%. I mean, I think that's been huge. This last defensive line that we played had all type of first rounders, all type of talent, and I thought the offensive line did a great job of giving me time to throw the ball down the field. And it's my feet, you tell, are a little bit more calm because I understand that these guys can protect and they can give me time to make these throws, and I'll continue to get better and better at that and try to make some of these throws more accurate down the field. And then instead of hitting 1 to 2 a game, making that 3 to 4 and then 5 to 6, and then defense will back up and it'll help us out with other stuff within the offense. And so I'm just excited for where this offense is going. I know it hasn't been the perfect product that we've put out there so far, but there's a lot of good too.
The last 3, Nick, Sarin, and then Vahe. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, Patrick, with the Ravens offense that you're going against that can hang 30 to 40 without a problem, how do you approach this week with your teammates and from an execution perspective and mentality wise out there on the field?
Yeah, I think for us, we got to start faster. I think every game we've kind of said down we haven't really got to do that. And we were moving the ball early in the game last week, but we're settling with field goals. And when you play teams that are really good, have dynamic quarterbacks like the Ravens do, you got to turn those into touchdowns. And that will not only put pressure on them, but it unleashes Spags to be able to do what he wants to do. And you always see when we get leads, it's like he's great. He's a great finisher. He's a great closer of being able to give you different looks and stuff like that. And so we got to take pressure off our defense and put pressure onto them by starting faster. And we can be better at that this week.
Sarin?
The play where the ball goes backwards to Isaiah Pacheco, is that in your head? He's there, and you're just looking to flip it out there. And as you turned around in the moment of having to get it out, there's almost like, whoa, you try to pull it back as you're letting it go. Like, just what was going through your head as that is evolving?
Yeah, I mean, I got to see where I'm throwing before I throw it. We had called a play, and you don't want those short completions in that 2-minute type tempo. So you kind of take the incompletion. And so I kind of went to burn it at his feet. And then seeing him as I was throwing it, obviously he was backwards, and that's why I knew immediately when I threw it. But you got to just see the guy before you throw it there. Obviously, I'm trying to throw it out to him in the flat and everything like that. But I got to see where he's at. He's trying to chip and give me time to throw the ball down the field. And so luckily I was able to get the ball back. And then the defense was able to get a huge stop for us there in the end of the half. But I got to be better at not just throwing it blindly, just kind of knowing where those guys are before I burn it at their feet.
Patrick, on the intermediate and deep passes, when you haven't connected, how much are you seeing passes you wanted back and versus maybe just a matter of communication?
I would say the one that I for sure wanted back was the post one before the half. I knew that when Tyquan won, I knew that the backside guy had gotten held by the route that we had, the backside safety. And so I could probably put that ball out further. I threw it more across the field. But with the levers that the corner had, I wish I'd have thrown it further and let Tyquan just run underneath it, probably a touchdown if I do that. And then the one that was on the 3rd and short, it's kind of just more of a miscommunication, just knowing that I would want it. If I had more time, I could have sold it a little bit more, but it was a run play, so I didn't want linemen downfield. And so I kind of wanted Tyquan's eyes back a little bit earlier, but he sees the open space. And so that's just communication stuff that we can work on. And he's in a bigger role in the stuff that he hasn't done before. And so that'll be important. I mean, obviously we missed a touchdown. We still win the game. He'll learn from that. We'll hit next time we get the opportunity.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks.
Hello.
All right.
Go ahead for George.
George, where do you think the,
Go ahead.
sorry, George, where do you think the pass rush is right now on what you can be and what you guys have been to this point?
I think we got off to a little bit of a slow start the first couple of weeks, and I think we showed a little more this past week. I think we're just going to keep on getting better like we have. As long as I've been here, we've got trust in every single one of the guys in the D line room, linebackers, never rush to the passer, and I think we're just going to keep getting better.
George, with Steve Spagnuolo and just kind of how he can evolve week by week, game plan wise, do you kind of marvel after the fact watching tape about how he takes away what opponents want to do?
Yeah, I mean he's just like such a master at what he does. Just in game planning, knowing kind of what the opponent's going to do, kind of the game theory side of it. Kind of he thinks that I think that he thinks that I'm going to do this type thing. He's really really good at that. So he's incredible at just a game planning, putting guys in positions to make plays, playing to our strengths, and just awesome at what he does. And we've had a lot of success because of him.
And what kind of confidence does it give you knowing you got a guy like that that's going to put you guys in that spot?
Yeah, we know that if we hold the opponent's offense to a certain amount of points, that we have a pretty good chance of winning because we got 15 of those guys on offense, right? And Spags emphasizes that every single offseason. So for us, it starts with that, obviously, and then, having confidence in Spags. We've been able to close out a lot of games with a lead and just continuing to do that. That's something we emphasize. It's putting the team on our shoulders what it needs to be. And, ultimately, it's all about winning games for us. So
That's your first game against Lamar Jackson. Just tell, what does it take to contain him?
it takes all 11, I can tell you that. We got so much respect for the dude, not just him, but their whole offense, really their whole team. I mean, they're tough. They do stuff the right way. Lamar specifically is so athletic, but he's such an accurate quarterback. I don't think he gets enough respect for that. He really can do it all. I've talked about this before. He's one of those elite quarterbacks that really can do it all. He's MVP and all this stuff. So definitely a lot of respect for him. It's going to take everything we got to stop him.
George, you mentioned that the defensive line has been playing progressively better the last few weeks. How much of that do you think plays into the addition of guys like Ashton and Omar as young guys in that defensive line room that are getting more reps and making more of an impact game by game?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are young. They're hungry. They want to be great, and they've worked their tails off up to this point. I remember when I was a rookie, you kind of get better each and every week, and there's all this stuff going on when you're a rookie that you don't know, so you're just trying to figure everything out. With those guys, I mean, I commend them because they've done a phenomenal job, and just adding more and more stuff, and they've been awesome.
Derrick Henry, I mean, he's the one true big back in this league. How different is it when it seems like every other running back is like 5'8" to 5'11", 200 to 212, right? And
Yeah, he's a beast.
he's the one big boy. Like how's the preparation different, and how much harder is it to bring him down?
Yeah, I mean, when you play a guy against that, you can't make any mistakes. If one guy's out of your gap, he's gone. So it's all about being detailed. In the run game, being detailed and executing your assignment, trusting the scheme, the coach, and your responsibility, and executing. So yeah, just like I said, he's a beast. He can make all the plays, he can make everything happen. Big runs, we want to avoid that, obviously, and just executing our scheme and playing to the best of our abilities.
He hasn't been a fumbler, but he's fumbled in each of the first 3 games.
Right.
There was a lot of tape of him, how upset he was. You got a guy on the ropes. Is that become an even bigger emphasis to try to get the ball out when you see guys?
That's always an emphasis. I mean, we've played him enough to where we know that we have so much respect for him. We're not just expecting every time you're gonna punch the ball out, it's gonna be a fumble, just because of what's happened recently. But that's kind of our for every defensive player, I'd say across the league, there's been an emphasis on punching the ball, and we're going to try to do that no matter who's the back. So,
Last one.
George, when you're playing a guy like Lamar Jackson, you have to flip your mindset a little bit in terms of how you're going to rush to keep him contained versus like going.
Yeah, a little bit now. It's even shifted a little bit since I've been a rookie, where it seems like every single quarterback who plays such a great athlete. So you gotta contain them. You gotta have your rush planes. you got to come under control before you're ready to tackle him and all this stuff. He can, because if you miss, he can make you pay. So, you got to be disciplined. Like I said, it all comes down to being disciplined and trusting your assignment and your coaching. That's what it's going to take. So,
Thanks, George. Thanks, everyone.
yes.
Anybody else interested?
So. I mean, I know if you had something specific you're looking for, you might be able to find your guy. Once he's 87. Yes, does it really take her again? Total numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised to say. I read it. Excuses,
Locks in that outside. It should lock the other way, right?
Yeah. Sure.
fruitful.
He's out there.
All right, guys, fire away for Tyquan.
How comfortable have you gotten over the last few weeks, kind of getting a little bit more and more each week?
I feel like I've been getting pretty comfortable, just being here at the end of last year, seeing the offense, learning the language, terminology, and just building a bond with my teammates. I just feel like I just want well.
How much have you enjoyed the opportunity to play?
Man, it's fun, man. Going out there and fighting with my guys, man. Going out there competing, playing the game. I enjoy it a lot.
You're saying you're gonna have an attitude. There's more to do. I guess just what have the past few days been like as far as supportive messages and maybe calls from friends and family just about your game on Sunday night?
I've been getting a lot of texts and calls and stuff like that, which I feel very appreciated too. I love the support from all my fans and family. I've definitely been getting a lot.
Tyquan and Patrick talked about how much your role has expanded, even from last year and going into this year. As you've been in the league a while, man, how much are you still actually learning?
I'm learning a lot. I learn every day. I learn a little bit from my teammates, taking the little things from some of the veteran players, how I can, be better at the little things and going out there each and every day on the practice field and challenging myself.
Yeah, a lot of the guys talk about how much Juju is a leader in that room. How much are you leaning on him?
A lot. He's been playing for a long time. He's seen a lot of football. Seen a lot of defensive coverages. So I ask him little things, because he's seen a lot, so he knows what's going on basically.
Tyquan, from other quarterbacks he played with, what's different about tracking and adjusting to a deep ball from Patrick?
Patrick, he throw like a friendly ball, so like it's easier for me like to see the nose of football. Some of the other quarterbacks that I played with was great quarterbacks too as well, so they always do a good deep ball too as well. But Patrick more on the friendly end.
And for you, what's fun about playing in this offense?
Aggressive. We want to be aggressive. We want to go out there and make plays. We got a lot of weapons in the room, in the running back room, quarterback, tight ends, receivers. We got a lot of weapons.
I don't think I've ever heard friendly used to describe the ball. Go into that a little bit more. What does that mean?
So sometimes like you can be covered, but the quarterback can throw you uncovered, so just making it a little bit easier on you to make the catch. That's all.
Tyquan, as much as you and Patrick have obviously created some chemistry, what do you feel like you still see things that we could be more on the same page as you go? Are you seeing that each week a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely a few things that we gotta, just continue to work on the practice field and just talking through it, watching film and stuff like that. Because when you out there in the game, the game is played fast, so you gotta sometimes just be quick reactions.
In a game like on Sunday, he talked about like a throwback or two. Or do you feel like he's communicated with you about where he wants you? Has that been getting more clear too?
Yeah, definitely clear. It's definitely been precise communication. While we out there, I know there's one play we had a corner route. He wanted me to get my eyes back a little bit quicker in that void, and so now we're gonna hit on that next time.
We'll start with Sam over here, work our way across.
A couple things, Tyquan. I wonder, just, all your deep routes are not go routes all the time. In fact, most of them, it doesn't seem like have been go routes. What's just been the process of refining, deep routes that have some diversity to them?
We're just trying to, do whatever we can, to just take the shot. You got to take shots in this league to, open up the defense and open up the offense too as well. So whatever I can do, to go down there and make a play for this offense, that's what I'm willing to do.
And do you find, I guess the Giants being the third opponent, playing you a little differently based on the fact that you had gotten open against the Eagles and Chargers the first couple weeks?
I mean, kind of, they try to throw a little shell out there when you go in the slot so they can, kind of outlow you a little bit and stuff like that. But once you catch them in man, they give you a chance.
Seren?
I mean, you obviously were highly drafted and everything and thought highly of by your first team, but it didn't click. And you look back on it and say it was, your maturation here, was it not working out there, part of what maybe got you to study more, or was it these coaches looked at you, saw what you can do and did a better job of putting you in a position to succeed? Why do you think it's working now and wasn't working early?
I mean, sometimes it's just timing, it's always God timing. So when I was there in New England, great time there. I love that staff over there, the players there. I built a good bond with them guys, and I just been making plays. I've been working at it in practice for a long time. I used to always do it in practice, but was never able to just put it on the film in the game. So I mean, just staying true to myself and just continue to doing the same thing.
Mackenzie?
Yeah, you hadn't posted on Twitter in like 3 years, and then you posted your big catch as a message to like the doubters. Just what was that moment like? And then how do you feel, having such a big impact in the offense?
That moment was pretty huge for me because I know like my time there in New England while I was there, the media used to try to beat up on me a little bit bad, so I remember like just, not having the best game of my career, being a young player, going to Twitter and seeing like, the media just beating you up. So I used to get down on myself a little bit, but, just looking at myself in the mirror, just knowing who I truly am, you know what I'm saying? Keeping my head high, just keep pounding at the rock and, just keep working now. Like it's starting to show a little bit. So I just want to keep on getting better and just keep on improving.
You had posted, but had you been looking at Twitter, or did you just say that's just not healthy for me? I'm not going to look for that stuff.
Yeah, it's not really healthy at all being a young player. So if you're a young player, I'll give you the advice. Like if you're not doing well, don't look at Twitter.
When you got here last year, you were around this team, right? And then you had to fight to make the team. And all of a sudden, down in Brazil, when Xavier got hurt, you had more stuff to do. That's, I guess, hard to encapsulate this last 6 months from not being on a team to all of a sudden being a bigger part of it. It's just like validation that you could do this, or how do you kind of look at it?
Man, it's a process, man. It's a process. You got to put your head down, work at the little things, and just keep on working until you prove yourself right.
Thanks, Tyquan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent.
Yeah.